Peter Frampton.
How you
Peter's
doing?
got a new album coming out called Thank You, Mr. Churchill. Tell me a little bit about the title.
Well, it all started one morning when I woke up and thought, I wonder what would have happened to us baby boomers had it been for the fact that the Allies had not won the Second World War. My father was in just about every major battle in the Second World War in Europe and Africa, and, So having lost my parents now, I am the orphan, and as we all unfortunately become, I had wonderful parents, but it just made me start thinking about how I became to be here and how different it could have been.
Now, tell me a little bit about the songs on the album. How did it relate to that topic?
Well, it's very introspective in a way. Portions of it. There's another song called Vaudeville Nana and the Banjolele, which is then thinking back to what made me start to play guitar. And my grandmother left a what is called a banjolele. It's a banjo-shaped ukulele that she left with my dad, her son. And said, stick this in the attic, and then one day maybe Peter will see it and he'll want to play it, and you can show him a couple of chords. So as soon as I found it, that was it for me. Destiny took over, and I needed to. And then the song goes on to say how I needed a guitar and woke my father up Christmas morning to ask him how to tune the other two strings, because its guitar is 6 strings and the banjolele was only 4. But I mean, and then it just started me. It just started because of those two becoming a much more personal album than I'd done in many years, and and then there's a little bit of outward looking as to what's going on that really bugs me, and everybody. Restraint is a track that is pretty topical. I wrote it about a year and a bit ago, but when we had the meltdown, the financial thing, which is still obviously going on hot and heavy right now, especially. So it's just about the greedy pigs, I call them actually in the song. So, but I just feel that so many people. I'm hearing that it's starting to turn around. I hope, but I mean it's just basically how all these people had to walk away from their mortgages, and in the meantime, all these other gentlemen in other places are taking huge multi-million dollar bonuses still. So it bugs everybody.
So the need to start to express this lyrically, which differs from your previous album, which was totally instrumental and Grammy winning, I might add.
Well, thank you.
Right, but that's a fact. So no compliment.
Thank you for mentioning it. Thank you.
So was it this angst combined with the idea of your existence having to do with essentially Mr. Churchill that made you write these
I think it's been sort of my thinking has been just gaining momentum and sort of coming out in my songs. I became a citizen on not 9/11 but 9/12. I started to look into becoming I wanted to become a citizen from then on, because I felt that I've been living in America for many years. I'm British, but I felt that I'd got so much. America had been extremely good to me, So from then on, I started then becoming more aware politically, and not thinking about me all the time. Us artists are pretty selfish. Well, I speak for myself, and so then I just became more outward thinking and caring about. I have it pretty good, and a lot of people don't, and it started really annoying me and seeing what I could do and becoming much more aware of what was going on around me.
Now, the record is ahead of a pretty big tour for you coming up this summer, and tell me a little bit about that and who you're going to be touring with.
Well, yes, we plan on being everywhere as quickly as possible this year. So we're going to do quite an extensive 6-week tour with a co-headline tour with Yes, who we haven't toured with since the 70s, when we were the combination of the two of us was pretty successful back then, and it's sort of like a reunion. So it's a very diverse bill, and that seems to work, you know, because it pulls lots of different people that like different types of music.
What is it about 70s music that seems to never go out of style? I mean, we see Yes, and we see those bands, the prog rockers, still, you know, pounding it out.
I think that the music fans, if it's quality music, it's going to stay around. You know, I think a lot of, unfortunately, a lot of music we didn't stay around. But I think also, for me, I can only speak personally, that I've always loved to play live, and I built my reputation on being a live performer, and I think that's something that comes very easily to me. And luckily, I enjoy traveling and being with the fellas on the road. So as long as we've got our comfy bus, we're fine.
Now, how do you ever get tired of people calling out those songs that were on Frampton Comes Alive?
No. It's the reason that we're talking here, you know, is Frampton Comes Alive. And, you know, when I reach my last breath, and it says Frampton drops dead instead of Frampton Comes Alive, one day, you know, that will be the first thing in the first sentence, known for, you know, I can't get away from it, no matter what I do from here on. So I have no problem with that. It's a great record. I'm very proud of it. What it's enabled me to do is to continue making, I can't just do that music. I've got to make new music, and I've been allowed to do that. So it's phenomenal. You know.
So just going back 34 years, you know, a little bit actually before that, you're with Humble Pie. You leave, you do a few solo albums, you come out with a live album, becomes one of the greatest selling albums of all time. Ever in your wildest dreams did you expect that?
No, you never. It's pretty surreal when something like that happens. You know, it's. You don't really think it's you. Is that me? Yes, it's me. It's happening to me. So yeah, it's a very. You never expect anything like that. I wouldn't change anything. It had a lot of good effects for me, and it had its dark side as well. You know, and it definitely actors get cast in a certain typecast. I got typecast as a certain type of performer, as a look, and the musician sort of got forgotten, and this image of this sort of teen guy came was sort of burnt into people's minds, you know. So when something like Fingerprints came along many years later, it was a total relief for me that it was basically on my musicianship and not for, hey, I don't have the hair. As you can see, it's gone, you know. So there's nothing, you know. I should only be on radio now. I shouldn't actually be on TV. So, you know, I love the fact that people are still listening to the music, and I'm able to be doing that.
No, you talked a little bit about, was the banjolina? What was it that you
Banjolele.
Banjolele.
It's
okay.
it's if you say ukulele.
Ukulele and a
banjolele. Right. Okay, you got it. So the banjolele was this small banjo-shaped ukulele, and that's what my grandmother left for me.